What is up, my MotoSaaders? Today is Friday. Happy Friday. Whoa, whoa. Nice. Okay, here we go. Nice. Now I gotta go left. And I can go left. Oh. You come crashing down from the sky. So I went to the store where you get the Chinese Nicky, you know, and they let me know that they're actually like all of the big brands that rhyme with Tosh, Zeke Bar, and all the other similar brands. They're gonna be no more because of the tariffs on China. And it's kind of nuts that I feel like it was kind of big picture short-lived, and then I wonder what they'll do with the tariffs and the electronic Chinese Nicky devices. But you know, it's crazy how substances have evolved throughout the years. Outright, we're just like taking in, I will go left, fuck it. Okay, I guess I'm not going left, but I tried to go left. But anyway, yeah, crazy how substances have evolved over the years, especially because, like, you know, I was in high school when the electronic devices really came out, but sort of BMW supermoto action. But I was in high school when all the electronic Nicky devices came out, and I feel like I don't know if substance use was the same, you know, in the past 100 years as I'm seeing now. But it feels like, definitely feel, obviously these electronic devices have made it way more easy to, you know, hit your substances wherever you're at. But it really makes me think about, you know, I think everybody's looking for a hit. Everybody's looking for a hit, whether it be through scrolling on social media or these substances or attention from other people. And seeking attention from other people is probably at an all-time low, and seeking attention from social media is at an all-time high, right? It's not really, I don't know if you would consider social media technically other people. I guess it is all other people, but it doesn't really feel like it. But these synthetic substances straight to the eyeballs, well, these synthetic substances straight to the brain, whether it be electronic Nicky devices or if it be electronic devices and the substances are going straight to your eyes. And that's the thing, right? Like maybe the phone is indeed a drug, and it's just a drug to the extent that it's taken in through your eyeballs. Spoiler alert, in the movie Looper, they showed a futuristic society where the main character had a drug problem, and the drugs that he was taking were through his eyes. And it's pretty interesting that they were saying that in the future, the drugs that you'll be taking will be taken through the eyes, because in a way, that is the case. Now, these days, we're taking drugs through our eyes, whether it's our phones, and it's straight to the dome, right? From eyeball to brain, from brain to eyeball to phone, very little waste. Straight to the dome. Figments of your imagination being manipulated by physical items. But I think the substance use really plays a part role. So all in all, I feel like apathy is at an all-time high. Apathy being that people just outright don't really feel anything. You see somebody dying on the side of the street, and you just kind of shrug your shoulders, like, meh, yeah, I mean, think about the world we live in, I don't know, like, people just outright don't really care. And I think the apathy that has been bred over however long it has been breeding, a big role of that, I think, was social media and technology as a whole, because the drugs that you're taking in through your eyes, aka via your phone, are desensitizing you. And so when you see somebody dying on the side of the street, you're like, whatever, because you already saw that, I guess. Okay, I'll stop. But yeah, so people are taking in drugs through their eyes. Like, everybody's doing drugs. If you got a phone, you got sucked in, and you're probably addicted. Phantom vibrations, man, that's just withdrawal. And so these drugs that people are doing through their eyeballs have definitely played a large role in desensitizing us as a population. And now we're met with a great deal of apathy. And so, another spoiler alert, in the movie Seven, Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt, they run around doing cop things, and the movie Seven is all about how there's actually an eighth deadly sin. So you have the 7 deadly sins that include, like, lust and gluttony and pride and the 7 deadly sins that we've been told to really be cognizant of and aware of. But at the same time, we also have an 8th deadly sin, which is apathy. And apathy, I think that we should be just as aware of as we are gluttony or pride or lust. And I'm not coming at this from a religious perspective. I'm coming at this from a, humanistic, societal standpoint, where people just don't really care about things anymore. People just don't really care. And it seems as though people have given up. A lot of people in the past used to have a lot of hope. Even in my lifetime, I'm 25 years old, and even in my lifetime in the past, people used to have hope. And it feels like people don't really have hope. They're like, yep, the government is going to screw you, and that's it. Yep, corporation's going to screw you, and that's it. Yep, nope, you're donezo. And hope is at an all-time low, and apathy is at an all-time high. And maybe that's an interesting point, where potentially the cure for apathy not only being sympathy, but is also hope. killing me. Whoa! So I say all this to really just, I'd like to bring awareness to the idea that potentially apathy is at an all-time high. And potentially we need to be more cognizant of said apathy and instill more hope into our own lives. Because living in an apathetic state really leads to a lot of disappointment. Not even disappointment. I think, well, maybe it's not disappointment. Maybe living in an apathetic state leads to a lot of negativity, natural negativity, and that it brings your baseline lower. If you're somebody who sees something bad happening and you're like, yep, that's just the way the world is, that means your baseline is to expect bad things. And I get it. You have to safeguard yourself from disappointment. But at the same time, reality is whatever you make it. And so if you expect bad things, then your reality will be full of bad things. But if you expect good things, I'd like to think that your reality will be full of good things. I don't know. Are experiencing the Great desensitization. We are a part of the Great Desensitization, which is leading to the Great Detachment, where people just are outright, hey, oh shit, was that James? I think that was my boy from, I think I knew that guy from high school. He went the other way.